Bill Maher recently took aim at Nike's Super Bowl commercial, which celebrated the growth and resilience of female athletes despite consistent adversity and culturally imposed limitations. The ad was narrated by rapper Doechii, who is absolutely incredible, by the way, and featured female athletes like Jordan Chiles, Caitlin Clark, Ija Wilson, JuJu Watkins, Sabrina Ionescu, Alexia Putellas, Aryna Sabalenka, Sha'Carri Richardson, and Sophia Smith. It ended with the powerful tagline,
"Whatever you do, you can't win. So win."
The ad had its fair share of praise and critics, with TV host Bill Maher planting his flag firmly in the latter camp. On a recent episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, airdate February 14th, 2025, he called the message of the commercial a quote-unquote zombie lie.
It means like something that used to be true and it stopped being true, and then people kept saying it. I feel like this is a giant zombie lie. And if the Democrats are ever going to win again, they have to realize something about the American people. They're not that savvy about politics, but they know when you're lying. When was the last time a woman was told, you can't do this, you can't be confident? Who are these imaginary mean old men of the patriarchy?
Well, Bill, the mean old men of the patriarchy are certainly not imaginary. In fact, they are all across America. Many of them are pastors, Sunday school teachers, and some have even started Bible colleges. When I was growing up in a fundamentalist Christian community, the idea that women could do anything was not just discouraged, it was actively opposed.
I wouldn't get my theology from a woman. I don't mind if mama teaches the kids. I don't mind if a strong lady and a wise woman and a gracious, godly woman takes the lesson from the pastor. Hey, all you listen to me right now, I still believe it'd be a cold day in hell before I get my theology from a woman. I'm a preacher. I wasn't mama called, papa sent. No woman ever got me involved in ministry. I didn't follow a woman in the ministry. A woman didn't write this book. Not one woman wrote the scriptures right here. A man wrote the Bible, got it from God. A man hung on the cross. His name is Jesus Christ, and God called a man to lead the church here. Hey, I'm glad I'm a man.
Through my podcast, Preacher Boys, I spent years exposing how religious institutions, like the independent fundamental Baptist circle I grew up in, perpetuate strict and archaic gender roles. These roles are not just suggestions in that world, Bill. They're codified into church doctrine, college curricula, and life expectations. Take Hyles-Anderson College, one of the more well-known IFB institutions. While men at the school can pursue theological degrees, pastoral studies, and climb their way into powerful leadership roles, women are encouraged to enroll in programs like, wait for it, marriage and motherhood. Yes, that's an actual college course. It's on their website right now. The curriculum includes credits for canning and freezing, how to rear infants, scheduling your time, and my personal favorite, crock pot cooking, which is a valuable skill if you're going to a lot of potlucks in the IFB. Notably absent is any track to ordination, church leadership, or even a career outside of traditional homemaking. The reality is that the highest aspiration for many young women at these colleges is not earning a degree, but earning a husband. In fact, it's become a regular joke in these circles that instead of a BS or a PhD, young women go to college for their MRS degree. Hardy, har, har. Frankly, Bill, to claim that patriarchal control is a thing of the past is to ignore millions of women who are still being told exactly what they can't do. It's to dismiss the experiences of women who are not allowed to preach, not allowed to lead, and rarely even allowed to work outside the home without backlash. It's to erase the reality of those raised in communities where obedience and submission aren't just encouraged, but mandated. And it's to ignore the fact that 83% of women in ministry positions are not paid a single penny. Just watch this clip from my conversation with Beth Allison Barr. 83% of women's ministry leaders are volunteers or unpaid staff. Something that you rightfully say about that survey is that this reveals that the same convention, the Southern Baptist Convention, that voted in a landslide to disfellowship churches with female pastors depends on female labor that is not financially compensated.
Women's labor is a necessary part of conservative evangelical spaces. Southern Baptist Convention is a case in point. There is no way the SBC can survive without the labor of women. There are moments in SBC history where women's fundraising saved the Southern Baptist Convention, during the Depression, the Women's Missionary Union, they bailed out the Southern Baptist Convention. I would actually also argue that probably during COVID, Beth Moore's Bible studies on Esther probably bailed out Lifeway. I don't have the numbers on that. That's just my gut instinct on that.
The La Yun Fund is a pretty big fund within the SBC.
We could Anyway, we could
Another
talk all
podcast.
day about that. What we see within these conservative spaces is they have to walk this difficult line because on the one hand, they need women. They need us to do that work. So they've got to figure out a way to keep women doing that work, but at the same time, not paying them and not recognizing them in these official capacities. Because once you recognize a woman as ordained, then you're giving her the same type of authority as a male leader. And she now gets to have a seat at the table, etc.
Frankly, it's bizarre to see Bill Maher, who has made a point to criticize fundamentalist religion in his stand-up, talk show, and an entire freaking documentary, fail to consider the ongoing struggles of women still trapped in systems just like this all around the country. In churches across America, women being held down by the patriarchy is not a zombie lie. It's a nightmarish reality. Sorry, Bill, you missed the mark big time on this one. And honestly, it genuinely bums me out hearing takes like this from you, since you were one of the first liberal and non-Christian perspectives I started listening to during my exit from the religious fundamentalism of my youth. Anyway, to everyone watching this, thank you. But by the way, if you want to know more about the denomination I grew up in, definitely subscribe to the show. But before I go, I want to encourage you to check out a woman's perspective on what it's like to grow up within a hyper-controlling religious environment. My friend Haley Joy Phillips just wrote an incredible article titled Can't Keep Sweet, The Unstoppable Force of Women's Voices. And in it, she reflects on watching the Netflix documentary Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey, and the eerie phantom parallel she saw between the world of the FLDS and the independent fundamental Baptist movement she was born into. It's a raw, passionate, and powerful piece that calls for women to defy the systems that keep them silent. You can read the article now at thebubbleverse.substack.com. I have a link to it in the show notes of this episode as well, and I promise it's worth your time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.